First of all, like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the algorithm. I saw this cover and I immediately got excited. This purple-haired freak is going to be good. So I was excited coming into this comic, and I turned the page and I got here and I saw this and I got more excited. G Willow Wilson. G Willow Wilson. You don't know who G Willow Wilson is? Well, then you don't follow this comics and comics gate. She is, well, let's take a look at her, see who she is. If you want to know what it's like to be so far up your own back hole, it hurts, we'll play a couple seconds of this. Just a couple seconds, get you a taste of G Willow Wilson.
Once upon a time, or about 3 years ago, I got a call out of the blue from two editors at Marvel Comics, Sana Amanat and Stephen Wecker. And they pitched me a very simple idea. We want to create a new, young, American Muslim superheroine and put her on her own monthly comic book series. And I went silent for a moment because inside I was thinking, no, you're crazy. You'll have to hire an intern just to open all the hate mail. Because Americans are so intolerant of the religion of peace. You know, the religion that's the global leader in terrorism. The religion has zero respect for... It's the most intolerant for gay rights and for women. It's the religion that actually says you are compelled to stone gay men or throw them off of rooftops. You can also cane women, which they do. So, of course, you decided to join this most patriarchal, intolerant religion. Fair enough. Because she's a, middle-aged, chubby woman who needs attention. That's what it is. I just pay me attention and hire me. It's kind of why Brian Visaggio, I'm not saying she converted to becoming trans to get a position. I mean, there's no way you do that. Nobody's that crazy. But it helped her. Brian Visaggio wasn't getting hired, but Mags Visaggio gets hired and proceeds to sell 1,000 issues. Let's read a comment or two. Yes, let's get into comics to spread propaganda of the ideology that is currently propelling a global wave of fanatical religious violence and murder. I think this may be a good TEDx reminder of what this woman is trying to sugarcoat. That's the first comment. 156 likes. Self-congratulating propaganda. I'm reading these in order. Wow, she thinks very highly of herself. This is what SJW Marvel sounds like. Every SJW line has failed. Marvel better stop handing their properties to affirmative action hires, or they stop making comics altogether. Yeah, I don't know how Marvel is in business unless they're getting... unless the movie company is just funding the comics company so they can maintain the intellectual property rights. That's a theory I've heard, and that makes sense. I mean, you simply have to publish every year so you don't lose the copyright, and it doesn't matter what they publish, so they can publish this propaganda. SJW propaganda comics turn heroes into villains, and not in an interesting way. Cancerous comics like hers are tanking Marvel, as well as small comic shops all over the world. It isn't selling. Yeah, female characters don't sell. Minority characters don't sell. Muslim characters don't sell. Yes, because good story and good characters do, in fact, sell regardless of any blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you have to have a good story. You can't just push a ideology. What do you know about Kamala Khan other than the fact she's Muslim? Yeah, that's it. Oh, come on, dog. All right, so it's they just go on and on to these comments. Just ripping her. 15 seconds in and there's already a problem. I got a call from Marvel Comics. Marvel should not be reaching out to people to work for them. People should be trying to get jobs there based on merit. Jim Lee, one of the greatest comic artists of all time, was rejected multiple times by Marvel, telling him he needs to improve. Yet people like G Willow Wilson get asked to work for Marvel. What a freaking joke. Yeah, that's a good point. You should get there on merit. But the thing is, most of the people, there are a lot of people working for Marvel and DC even. You need to fire a few dozen people and just start over. Start with moderates. Only in the West you can make a living through continual grievance. Yep. And the weird thing is she converted to Islam
and decided to take advantage of now her new oppressed status. Of course, in the West, she'll never be caned. They'll never follow Quran Rule 434 because you live in the West. She's not living in Pakistan, Afghanistan, Kyrgyzstan. Anyway, you can check her out on TED Talks, TEDx Talks. So this has 3 stories in it. One of them penned by her, and I can read the whole thing in its entirety because it's only 1 out of 3. It's not. It doesn't violate their intellectual property rights. Okay, so they're on a starship, and we see Holdo, who doesn't quite look like she appeared in the movies, and she's got one of those plants from that musical that came out with Rick Moranis in the 80s. What's going on in there? That's Admiral Holdo's, or that's Holdo's room. Holdo, wasn't she an apprentice senator? She was. Now, as far as I can tell, she catches rides on Alliance ships, gives the occasional anti-imperial speech, anti-Trump, am I right, and dyes her hair with these plants. Okay, that's a compelling storyline. What's she doing all the way out here? Search me, not hauling ordnance across 5 full decks, I can tell you that much. I guess some people are meant to work and some are just decorative. Oh, aren't men the worst? Oh, the patriarchy. Okay, so she dyes her hair. I was feeling like we were marooned out in the middle of nowhere. Oops, that's a double. Okay, so they get attacked by a ship. Red emergency lights go on. You see them. That's kind of a cool shot. Okay, everything goes to hell, and people start predictably going to their battle stations. General quarters alarm. Gorth, sir, I need a DEMS report now. Okay, so you have a flight officer who's in charge. It's no use, sir. The whole bridge is compromised. All right, she's barefoot walking around a debris-laden ship. Something you cannot actually do barefoot. Meanwhile, on the bridge. Okay, so the captain's dead. Fair enough. Okay, you have a flight crew. So you have an officer. So a ship might have dozens of officers, and then below the officers, I don't know, non-commissioned officers like warrant officers and stuff, and then below them you have just crewmen. But the flight officers, there's a guy in charge, a captain or something, and then there's executive officer, and then there's various officers below him. They're all capable of taking command because they're all experienced in operation of this vessel. And it's not unexpected that part of the officer crew will die in an attack or be incapacitated. So there's redundancy. The executive officer can easily take command of a ship. The officers under him can also easily take command of a ship because they're military officers with experience on this particular ship. She is some kind of senator who does not have experience with this ship. So she jumps onto the flight deck that these men are completely capable of handling their emergency. They've been trained for years, and they've been trained on this ship. But, of course, a non-military female needs to come and show these silly men what to do. So she comes in, asking questions, and getting in the middle. She says, is the ion drive still functional? Huh? We're so confused. Minister Holdo, you should be below decks. It isn't safe up here. Okay, the captain's dead. Run diagnostics. Prepare to engage sublight propulsion systems. What? Those are just crazy orders that we are already doing because we're capable flight officers who know how to run a ship in the event the captain dies, because we're not idiots. This is what we train for. I am now the highest ranking person on this ship. Do you want to live or not? Okay, this is a weird power fantasy by G Willow Wilson. A skinny, purple-haired version of G Willow Wilson, who believes that she's the only one capable of, probably she believes the only one capable of saving Marvel, even though she's saving it by decreasing sales. So I'm not quite sure how that works. If I'm not mistaken, that bump we just felt was their tractor beam engaging. It's time to make a decision. So none of the other flight officers know what's going on. Only you, G. Willow Wilson. Sir, yes, sir, engaging the ion drive. Turn us 90 degrees towards their hull, but that will point us into the Imperial ship. Okay, Sean Connery in what was that submarine movie? I'm aware of that, but as long as we're in the thrall of that tractor beam, we can only move one way. up our own ass. So much smarm. On my mark, fire right into that cargo bay they've kindly opened up for us. But that's just wacky talk. Firing on an enemy ship? I mean, who would have thunk it? Firing on the enemy. That's just crazy. I mean, we never in a million years would have come up with that on our own. Genius. Just stunning and brave. Stunning and brave. That's the power of the vagina. Only the vagina can fly these ships. All right, fire. So you tell me what's wrong with this. Even kids before high school, grammar school, who've never had a physics class know about vacuums and sound waves and propagation. Not a whole lot of sound in the cold, hard vacuum of space. All right, so they fire into the holding bay. And you see the death and destruction again. Noise in space. Okie dokie. I can't believe it. We punched straight through their hull. Well, this kind of reminds me of The Last Jedi. If this maneuver worked, then did they do it all the time? Is the exterior of our starship is definitely armored. It has some kind of energy shields against laser blasts, but the steel itself is pretty tough, even if you got through the energy shield. So, but is the internal bracing of the ship is also steel, so it'd probably take a little bit to blast through it. But again, this maneuver, if it works, and it seems like kind of an obvious maneuver, does it work all the time? Do people use it all the time? No, they only use it as a plot device, like in The Last Jedi with the light speed, using a ship as a weapon. That's bad writing. Anyway, this is just a one-off story. It doesn't matter if the writing is bad because it's G. Willow Wilson trying to push propaganda. Okay, so these silly men get crazy excited at the novel concept of firing on an enemy ship. What a move. That was 1 in a million. Doesn't seem like... Okay. Sir, we shouldn't have doubted you. We hesitated and it cost us vital seconds. It could have cost us our lives. Well, we didn't know each other very well an hour ago. That's the trouble with first impressions. You can only make them once. But now I hope we understand each other. You will respect my vagina. Okay. Captain, we just received your distress signal. What is your status? Oh, look, another person with a vagina, because women are so eager to enter the military service, especially women of childbearing age. They are just really, really eager to put their eggs at risk. You know, they're during their narrow window of childbearing. That's just, that just follows the biological imperative. Captain's dead. The ship sustained damage from a surprise encounter with their Star Destroyer, but we disabled the Imperial warship and are now en route to base for repairs. We didn't disable the ship. The ship is huge. You disabled one of the bays, and really, as you were leaving the ship would fire on you and also send out fighter jets to follow you and destroy you. But none of that happens because G. Willow Wilson has probably never seen a Star Wars film or read a Star Wars book or read a comic. But that's just par for the course for Marvel. They hire people who are completely unfamiliar with the universe that they are writing. So the second stunning and brave vagina person says, disabled an Imperial warship with a tiny smuggling vessel? Yes, sir. I'm so humble. I put my head down and close my eyes a little bit. I'm G. Willow Wilson. I'm skinny G. Willow Wilson. Very, 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 very humble. Well. It seems your friend Princess Leia was right about you. Another power of vagina. Excellent work, Captain Holdo. May the Force be with you all. So humble. So humble. Stunning and brave. This is a portrait in courage. Right. Set a course for the repair base. We have work to do. Yeah. Stunning and brave. Why aren't all women flight officers? Why aren't militaries around the world just 100% women? Strange, really strange. I don't understand why they're not. Anyway, this was a Star Wars Age of Resistance by G. Willow Wilson. And you can check her out, her TED Talk, but don't watch more than, say, a minute of it. Read the comments, because you'll probably put a gun in your mouth rather than listen to her. Smarmy, self-congratulatory, just jerking herself off on stage and ejaculating her venom out onto the world. Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe.